whatever, you got the first question.
Well, Senator, the last person you endorsed statewide did not do so well in the election. What makes you think this will be any different?
Because I think that Roy Blunt is a candidate who is united. He is a candidate who I believe will be able, by starting early, to build the kind of campaign that's needed to win. He knows, and I know, and we all know, that this is a long, difficult process. When you've been in Congress, in the House, you have to get known in the other 8 districts of the state of Missouri. Roy, by starting now, will be able to get to those districts. He will be able to raise the money. He will be able to listen to the people in those districts and be better known. Furthermore, we expect and hope he will not have a divisive primary fight that costs money and unfortunately tends to divide the party. We believe that the tremendous wave that brought President Obama to success in every other battleground state in Missouri will not be running strongly, and we think that, and I think very sincerely, that Roy is a man whose record, his ability, his willingness to listen, to serve Missouri will work.
That record, though, is something that somebody can use against him in a campaign. Why not get?
Well, I tell you what, I think that's important. We want to know where people stand. They don't call us the show me state for nothing. People want to know where the person they are voting for stands. And Roy has done that. He's been willing to speak out. The others who may get in on the other side have not taken any stands. And I think Missourians want to have a stand-up person who has views that represent the views of Missouri, willing to take a stand and say where they're going to be. So I think that's a great qualification.
A question. You mentioned support from 71 House members.
Right.
How do you feel about the health care plan that they opposed this week that was supported by the Associated Industries, Senate Republicans, a bipartisan?
You know, I'd been a statewide elected official for a number of years before I went to Congress. One thing I decided in 1996, and I pretty well stuck with that, was until we solved all the problems in Washington, I wasn't going to spend a lot of time talking about what people ought to be doing in Jefferson City. I know exactly how I feel about the Obama administration health care plan. In fact, I've organized our side against that, and I'll continue to. I said before, we need a system where everybody has access, that's more affordable, it's more doctor-patient focused, that has real marketplace competition and satisfaction. That's what I'm for.
But you don't have a position on the state plan?
I think I answered that question. Anybody else? Terry, you have anything?
Well, one of the things that was mentioned was how Senator Bond fought for Missouri. And what differentiates when a U.S. senator decides that the national interests are more important than what's happening in your state, that a parochial interest could get in the way of the national interests? And what would you do in a case like that, if you could think of it?
Well, first of all, it's not my job to think of hypotheticals or to answer hypotheticals, but on energy, for instance, I think we are particularly disadvantaged in a proposal that disadvantages the country overall. You know, if we on our own decide we're going to have a national energy tax, that makes us less competitive as a country in a world economy. But it makes us less competitive as a region in a national economy. It's foolish for the country. It's even more foolish for Missouri. And those are the issues that are out there right now. You know, there are plenty of big issues to talk about without having to think of hypotheticals at the federal level. And I hope that whoever's running for the Senate is as open on their positions on these federal issues as I am, and look forward to that debate. I think we have that debate. That debate, combined with the desire of Missourians to be sure that government is checked and balanced in a way that benefits them, are keys to this 18-month campaign.
Well, what do you think about global warming then? Do you think the cap and trade is not needed to do?
No, I don't. Almost nobody even, you know, the climate change, which is the term that almost everybody's using now. We've always had climate change. Let me tell you about global warming. If, for instance, with a national energy tax, cap and trade, you send high energy related jobs out of the country, they are much more likely to go to low energy cost countries that put more contaminants in the air, not less. So actually you've taken a huge backward step in global warming. And while you're taking a backward step in climate change, or so-called global warming, you've also cost Americans jobs and opportunity. That doesn't make any sense. You've got to think through the consequences of whether you're ready for an action. Now, on energy, I'm for more American energy on all fronts. More traditional energy, more wind, more solar, nuclear. I am in favor of energy policies that move forward renewables of all kinds, renewables of all kinds, and has been on record for that for a long time. At the same time, I'm also for more conservation. I may find more, use less, and invest in the future. And when you invest in the future and find out how we want to run our cars in 20 years, or how we want our utilities to be run in 20 or 25 years, that's a great goal to have. But even if you know how you want every one of our utilities to look in 25 years, it could be devastatingly foolish to try to get there in 5 years. You need to have the right goal and the right time to get there in a way that protects American families, American retirees, and American jobs. And that's actually just how big this campaign is all about, because you've got one side who doesn't seem to understand the implications of some of the things they're advocating. You talk about taking health care, which is 16 or 17% of the economy, and forcing it through the Senate with 51 votes potentially under a rule that's supposed to only be used for things that impact the budget. And so it's a great debate, and there are lots of big issues, and I think we've got time to engage Missourians in those big issues as they relate both to the future of the state and the future of the country. So, thank you all.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all for being here.
Thanks very much.